Assalamu alaikum, I'm Aisha and you're watching Samaa News. Here are today's headlines. Security forces have foiled a major suicide attack and killed 10 terrorists in 2 separate operations in North Waziristan. A vehicle packed with hundreds of kilograms of explosives was also seized in Bajaur, preventing what could have been a massive attack. The action comes as part of intensified operations against militants infiltrating from Afghanistan, with over 100 terrorists neutralized in the last 4 days. Saudi Arabia is discussing a defense deal with the United States, which it hopes to seal when Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman visits the White House next month. A senior Trump administration official told the Financial Times there were discussions about signing something when the Crown Prince comes, but the details are in flux. In a surprise move, the head of US military forces for Latin America, Admiral Alvin Halsey, will step down at the end of this year, 2 years ahead of schedule. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth made the announcement amid rising tensions with Venezuela. The White House says India is cutting Russian oil imports by 50%, following what it calls productive trade talks between Washington and New Delhi. However, Indian officials say no formal request has yet been made to refiners, and the reduction may only be reflected in import data later this year. Refiners have already placed November orders that include some December deliveries of Russian crude. US President Donald Trump has warned he may break the ceasefire if Hamas continues targeting alleged collaborators and gangs in Gaza. In a social media post, he warned Hamas of dire consequences if the killings continued. The remark marks a sharp shift from his earlier praise of Hamas for taking on local gangs and risks reigniting violence in the enclave. Meanwhile, President Trump said he would meet Russian President Vladimir Putin in Budapest to discuss ending the Ukraine war, following what he called a very productive phone call that lasted more than 2 hours. Trump said the success in the Middle East could pave the way for peace in Europe, with US and Russian advisors meeting next week to prepare for the summit. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky will meet US President Donald Trump in Washington today to push for the delivery of Tomahawk missiles capable of striking deep into Russia. The meeting follows Trump's phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin, which he described as great progress ahead of their planned face-to-face talks in Hungary. A Russian military court has handed long prison sentences to 15 Ukrainian fighters, sentencing them to between 15 and 21 years in a high-security penal colony. Russia's prosecutor general said the men, members of Ukraine's Aidar battalion captured in 2022, were convicted of involvement in what Moscow described as a terrorist organization. The trial was held behind closed doors in the southern city of Rostov-on-Don. John Bolton, US President Donald Trump's former national security advisor, has been charged in a sweeping indictment that accuses him of sharing sensitive government information with 2 of his relatives for possible use in a book he was writing. The indictment marks the 3rd time in recent weeks the Justice Department has secured criminal charges against one of Trump's critics. India has refused drug makers' requests to extend a year-end deadline to upgrade their manufacturing plants to international standards, amid public outrage over the deaths of at least 24 children who consumed locally made cough syrup. Tests found one syrup contained 48.6% diethylene glycol, nearly 500 times the legal limit. The government says all companies must now meet WHO-approved safety protocols after India-made syrups were linked to child deaths overseas. US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says the federal government shutdown may cost the US economy up to $15 billion a day, a claim later corrected by the Treasury to $15 billion a week. Bessent told a news conference that the shutdown has started to cut into the muscle of the US economy. China has expressed dissatisfaction over US President Donald Trump's threat of 100% tariffs on Chinese exports. At a press briefing in Beijing, Commerce Ministry spokesperson He Yongqian urged Washington to correct its erroneous practices and respect past trade understandings. He also accused the US new energy vehicle subsidy of violating WTO rules, adding that Beijing will strengthen foreign trade policies to counter pressure. Interior Minister Mohsin Naqvi has welcomed American investors to explore Pakistan's mineral and energy sectors, reaffirming the government's resolve to create a business-friendly environment for foreign investors. Talking to acting US Ambassador Natalie Baker in Islamabad, he said American investment interest reflects the growing trust and cooperation between the two countries. He also praised President Donald Trump's role in securing the Gaza peace agreement and called his efforts sincere and historic. Meta has announced new parental controls, allowing parents to disable teens' private chats with AI characters, following backlash over the flirty behavior of its chatbots. The company also said its AI features for teens will follow the PG-13 rating system, in a move to curb minors' exposure to inappropriate content on its platforms. Media mogul David Ellison is reportedly preparing a $60 billion bid to take over Warner Bros. Discovery, possibly bypassing the board to appeal directly to shareholders, after his initial $20 a share offer was rejected. Ellison aims to acquire the company before its planned split, expanding his growing media empire that already includes Paramount, MTV, and Nickelodeon. Cristiano Ronaldo has once again topped the Forbes list of the world's highest-paid footballers for the 2025-26 season, marking the sixth time in the past decade that the Portuguese superstar has claimed the top spot. The achievement comes just over a week after Bloomberg declared the 40-year-old Al Nassr forward football's first billionaire. With estimated total earnings of $280 million, Ronaldo's income for the year is more than double that of his longtime rival, Lionel Messi, who sits in second place with $130 million. That's all for now. For more updates, visit www.samaa.tv. Thank you for watching Samaa News.